I don't care who you are, what you do, what level or whatever you're at. I am more than willing to hear what you got to say because you can learn something from anybody.
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Somewhat distant is so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the One More Time podcast. I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host.
Henry with a 3, because Henry with an E was already taken.
Henry, who do we have on the podcast today, my friend?
I actually meant to ask you about that before we started. You told me Forrest was coming. This isn't Tom Hanks, though, right?
My gosh.
This is someone else.
This is the biggest disappointment we've had.
It's Forrest Whitaker.
I knew you looked familiar.
Yep.
No. This is Forrest Isn't Dead, lead man for Forrest Isn't Dead.
Yeah.
Bam. Just like that.
And we will help tell his story on the episode today. Forrest, we appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah.
This will be fun.
I've been wanting to do this for the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's honestly awesome to have someone like Forrest, and you're honestly not the first. You're actually the first one that's asked to be on, and we've let you come on, so you must have said something right. But we appreciate you tapping in because this is what it's for. It's to help, gain awareness to other people's stories and then help other artists and, producers, managers, lawyers, A&Rs, people in the music industry tell their stories, where they've come from, where they're at, and where they're going. So we appreciate you coming on. Let's get right into it. Growing up, you didn't have a lot of TV playing in the household, but there was a lot of music.
Yeah.
Always on. What types of music was playing?
All types of stuff. A lot of Foo Fighters, a lot of Prince. Not a favorite of mine, but a lot of Widespread Panic.
Yeah, there was a lot of other kind of old school bands, I would say, that were on, right? That your mom was a fan of, that
Allman
maybe
Brothers.
you weren't. Yep, Allman Brothers.
Now, I was a fan of Prince, though. That was, and Foo Fighters, though. She put me onto those as a kid. And Modest Mouse, which is one of my favorite bands that her and my uncle found out about in the 90s before they blew up through college radio.
Oh, wow.
Yo, we got to link him up with Gabe. That's Gabe's favorite band.
Oh, yeah, they're sick, dude.
Yeah.
I like their earlier stuff more than later stuff personally, but it's still good. Still good music.
Yep. So your mom was a big, music fan.
For sure.
She had lots of music playing around the household. Never was really allowing you to watch much TV, but she was definitely a supporter of, music playing, you being, interested in music. She told a story about a CD that was stuck in the car CD player for about 3 years.
That would be The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Oh, man.
She mentioned that the CD player was broken to the point that you couldn't get it out.
Right.
And you couldn't switch to the radio. This sounds like some Pink Floyd dark magic.
It was, yeah. So, I memorized Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon front to back as a child.
What was your favorite song off that album?
Comfortably Numb.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what a record.
Yeah, that song.
That's incredible. Yeah. Honestly, when I heard that story, I was like, there could be way worse albums to have been stuck in the CD player.
Yeah. It could have been William Shatner's version of Rocket Man. So many different options.
I was honestly going to ask you if you could have one CD not be stuck in the CD player, what would it be? But
it is.
You answered the question.
That's a hard one. That's not a CD. Let me think. As far as a CD, nothing against them. It's just that every song sounds the same. Any AC/DC CD. I would have. That would probably be my pick.
Controversy.
Ooh. AC/DC, we'd still love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. No shame to AC/DC. That's my stepdad's favorite band. It's just, if I had to listen to one thing every day, all the time, that would be at the bottom of my list.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My dad would have a couple words with you, too.
Oh, that's fine. I could play AC/DC on the guitar even, so,
There you go.
Honestly, let's flip it around. What would be the CD that you would allow to be stuck in your CD player for 3 years straight?
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance.
Awesome.
I know every word front to back. I know every guitar lick front to back. I know every detail of that album. That is, one of my favorite albums.
Love it.
Yeah, so you mentioned, every guitar lick. You play several instruments.
Yeah.
When was the first time you picked up an instrument, and what instrument was it?
It was drums when I was 9.
Yes, sir. Fellow drummer.
Yeah.
Drums, is it because it's the easiest thing to get started?
Whoa.
No, I don't mean to, fire
Is it
shots.
because it's the easiest?
Yeah,
Have
totally.
you ever played drums?
Yeah, you ever tried to keep a groove for an entire band, Ben?
I was a pencil drummer in my day. But no, it's just interesting because a majority of our guests that were musically inclined and played instruments, drums were the first one. So I guess just for someone that's younger, maybe because of the, hand-eye coordination of guitar or keys, it's maybe a little bit, I don't know, is it a little bit harder? I'm asking. Why do you think that it is? Because I mean, Henry, everyone.
I started on piano. I think piano to me is the number one instrument to start with.
Yeah, actually, I think
So it's just a coincidence maybe that we've had a lot of drummers on the show.
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people start on piano.
Yeah. It's a good foundation.
Yeah.
It's great to just understand music theory and be able to look at the
Chords,
keys
notes.
and do chords. Yep.
So fast forward though, how many instruments do you play today?
Well, when I was 9 on drums, and then I was 12 when I started playing guitar, and I was 13 actually when I started producing and singing. My cousin David Barnes, shout out David if you
Shout
see
out
this.
David.
Yep. When I was like 13, he was on FL Studio. He used to rap and produce himself, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna teach you something that's gonna change your life." And then he showed me how to produce. And the very first thing I ever tried to produce on my own was a cover of Mother by Danzig.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great song.
That's awesome.
Really.
Yeah.
But before you got into production, I mean, you were writing songs at a young age. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you had notebooks.
Oh, yeah.
Full of whether you'd call them full songs or not. I mean, you were writing lyrics,
Like
and you were-
poems, yeah.
poems,
But yeah, lyrics
but
too.
song like things.
When I started that.
when did you do that?
When I was between 7 and now, I've always, even before I wanted to
Do you have any of those
music.
notebooks?
My mom has a container this big, and it's stacked with notebooks that are just filled with words. That I've
Save
written.
those.
If
Oh,
you
yeah,
ever have
definitely.
writer's block, do you ever dig back into some of those old notebooks?
I haven't even opened them in over 10 years.
Hey, maybe you should give them a shot.
I thought about
There might
that.
be a hit record in one of those notebooks.
They were very dark and demented and crazy, but
I think it's more like a thing that you open up way later, like when he's the most famous, on the planet. Then you open it back up. And
yeah, me and my team were talking about turning them into NFTs.
Shout out NFTs.
Man,
Money making.
we should have a whole episode where we talk about NFTs and music. By the
You
way,
should.
With it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to change the game.
Did y'all see Tory Lane's new
Yep.
album?
Yeah.
sold 1 million copies for $1 in
Yeah.
a minute,
Yeah.
or something.
Genius.
He was going crazy about
And you
it.
can resell the album and make money.
Yeah. It's a collector's item.
I'm
Insane.
admittedly not well versed in the whole topic, so before our conversation, I'll definitely have
I'm
to
not
do some
either.
research. Yeah.
Once again, that's why I mentioned my team having their hand in that, because I don't know much
There you
about
go.
NFTs either.
Yeah.
Perfect. So your mom obviously, was into Allman Brothers. She mentioned that when you'd get into trouble, she'd punish you. What were some of your punishments? Do you remember?
She had, so one of the things that I know she mentioned was that she would take everything out of my room except for my instruments, because she didn't because she didn't want to take that away from me. And also she knew my connection with music. And she also would make me cover songs that she liked that I didn't like.
That's crazy.
And it might still be on YouTube, but I posted a video of me doing an Allman Brothers songs, and I spelled almond like an almond, which is super embarrassing. And I was young, so please forgive me for that. But
The
Almond
Allman
Boy.
Brothers, it sounds like a brand of almond.
yeah, I know, the Almond Bros.
Yeah.
They should do that.
Yeah, branding.
So other than music, growing up, and even to this day, skateboarding is a big passion of yours, right?
Yeah.
When did you start skating?
I started skateboarding when I was 9. My father used to skateboard, and he kind of put me on when I was young. And I've skated my whole life up until I quit probably about a year ago. Just because.
Oh, really?
I just can't take the falls no more. I'm just.
Yeah. What was your worst injury?
I broke this arm to where it was kind of dangling like this at one point. It's still like. You hear that pop?
Oh.
That's because I fucking broke this pinky. I've twisted my left ankle probably like 7 or 8 times.
Always the left one.
I don't have a lot of details, but apparently I broke my shoulder at some point, because I went to the hospital and the doctor was like, your shoulder was broken, right? Like, it's grown back weird. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a weirdly high pain tolerance, but
That's crazy. So you mentioned getting into production. When was that?
when I was like 13.
So was that when did you start taking music seriously then, or was that still very
I feel like my entire life I always like knew that I wanted to do music, but I would say as far as it being a career, I would say probably like 15 or 16 is when I was like, I'm doing this.
I'm so mad at these people who like figured out exactly what they want to do
so interesting,
young.
That's what my fiance says.
I started making beats and engineering like at 21, like 22, and these kids, and there's like 17
it's never
year
too
olds.
late though.
It's not.
It's never
I
too late.
admittedly just started taking a music career, you know, in management and doing this podcast, you know. I mean, the podcast 3 months ago, but you know, even music seriously, like
2 years
less than
ago.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm freaking 30. So it's like I definitely
Not too late, dog.
I hate having regrets, but I so badly wish I would have taken that leap back in, you know, when I was 18, 20, whatever years old. But that's interesting. So, what kind of music did you start producing?
Well, I guess you would say rap. I've always been interested in all types of genres, but I started with rap. My buddy 3AG Pilot, if y'all know who
Shout
that
out
is.
3AG.
You know what I'm talking about? That's my boy. We grew up together, actually.
Yeah, you put me on to him.
Oh, yeah. We've been, he actually kind of taught me how to rap. Like, we used to hang out in his basement for hours, and I would be, like, freestyling back and forth with him, and he would be like, nah. Like, you need to catch it, like, dot,
You're
dot,
not
dot.
flowing, man. You gotta
Right,
catch
yeah,
the flow.
for real. And he is an impressive rapper. And he freestyles everything. We still work together, too, 13 years later. But
Wow.
so I actually started as his producer when we were kids, and that's kind of where,
Okay.
it began.
Did you have a producer name?
I didn't have a producer name, but my artist name in the beginning, it was A.K. Kennedy,
A.K. Kennedy.
because my initials are JFK, like John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that came
That's
from.
dope. And so you started
It was
rapping.
kind of dark that I did the gunshots on the JFK.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Henry went there.
That's a history lesson for you kids.
Yeah, don't play with guns.
Yeah.
Unless you have to.
So what was your, you know, next artist name as a rapper?
It was just that, and then I went to Dahlia Doe actually as a producer.
Okay.
Yeah, and
One
then
more time?
Dahlia Doe.
Dahlia Doe?
And then from there I went to Young Doe, and then from Young Doe to Doe, and then about 4 years ago it became Forrest Isn't Dead.
Wow.
And so even though you were still quite young, you already decided to drop the young at a young age.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
like,
how old
too
when
grown
you
for this shit?
When you dropped the young,
yeah, I'm
how
like,
old were you?
Yeah.
That would have been like 5 years ago. I was only like Doe for like a year or so.
Okay.
But it was only because like
He felt wise beyond his years, so he was like, I'm dropping this young shit. Okay?
I ain't young anymore.
Yeah.
it was actually the reason I did it is because the sound of the music was becoming a little less rap and a little more pop, and I was like, Young Doe sounds more rap than it does pop.
It does.
But so who are some of your hip hop and rap influences? And I like asking this question because I also want to know not only who were some of your influences as a rapper, but also who did you like to listen to? Because I feel like those are sometimes very different.
Fred Durst and Vanilla Ice, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
No, shout out to
they
them.
were white.
Shout out to them. It was just a joke, but yeah. Nah, Fred Durst is legit. Carter 3 Lil Wayne. That was probably when I was like, oh yeah, this is my shit.
Yeah. Mr. Carter, 3-Pete.
Yeah. And
And so both you liked him as a fan and also wanted to kind of emulate some of the things that he was doing as an artist too?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like sometimes those are different.
Sometimes it's different.
You know, as far as sometimes I ask artists who are some of their influences, and they don't align at all with what their sound sounds like. So that's why I kind of like to delineate the two between like who were you a fan of, and then who did you say like, damn, I want to try and work that
Incorporate.
into my craft.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of good as far as like not doing what somebody else is doing. Not that my music doesn't sound like somebody else's, but like, for example, like I do not live the same type of lifestyle that Lil Wayne lived. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like my lyrics and music sound is not going to be, you know, some hood shit because that's
And you're
not-
aware of that.
Right,
And that's
yeah.
important, right?
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
we're gonna hit it one more time on the One More Time podcast. When we feel like an artist has dropped a gem, we ask them to just say it one more time for the people in the back.
Don't lie in your lyrics. If you lie in your lyrics, I don't want to hear it, and neither does anybody else. You're wasting your time. Tell the truth. There you
So
go.
well said, guys.
That's honestly a big gem.
Huge.
People might think that
you can only keep up a facade for so long.
Facades are whack, dude. You're gonna get yourself hurt one day.
That's right.
That's interesting. So
emotionally or physically.
So you mentioned, having some hip hop rap influences. You also mentioned, if you could have one CD stuck in your CD player, it would be My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Who are some of your other non-rap influences?
Misfits. For sure.
Misfits.
One of my biggest.
There it is.
Modest Mouse. And probably my next biggest next to My Chemical Romance would be The Cure. I am a gigantic Cure fan. I'm obsessed with Robert Smith. I actually have a poster from their 1992 Wish tour that my mom got at that tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a third generation fan of The Cure.
Wow.
It was my grandfather, my mom, and then me.
The way music is, you just don't see third generation fans of anything. I feel like because shit just changes.
No, I'm trying to think of what my grandparents were into.
Nothing that I'm listening to.
I think you played big band music in the car,
Swing.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out to my pop.
Shout out Ben's Pop.
Yeah.
Shout out Pop.
So with all these different genres of influences and you being fans of these different genres, I heard you were a big playlister.
Oh, yeah, I make a lot of playlists.
Yeah. First off, can you put Henry and I onto some of your playlists? Can you add us?
Yeah,
please.
Definitely.
Okay. What's on your playlist as of today? What were some of the newest additions to your playlist?
Touche Amore, another one of my favorite bands. The song's not out yet, but in one of my songs, I name drop the singer.
Okay.
Because his lyrics are like next level amazing. As far as new bands,
or just anything that you might have added to your playlist recently.
New additions.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just new additions.
Touche Amore, Turnstiles. This isn't a new addition necessarily, but I've been listening to a lot of TSOL.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. You definitely have to add us to the playlist.
I will, for sure.
We've had another guy that was called the Encyclopedia of Music by one of his brothers and actually collaborators.
Yeah.
And we asked him to put us on a playlist. He still hasn't added us. Dan Helfrich.
I'll add you.
Dan,
what's up, man?
if you don't fucking add us to that playlist soon.
It's got 5 clicks max. Come on, Dan.
So you've been through.
I'm so real. I'm doing it right this second.
Oh,
look at
on the podcast.
Look at the initiative.
That's the initiative.
This is incredible. This is an artist that takes his craft seriously.
Oh, yeah.
This is a playlister that takes his playlist career seriously. He's getting new playlist fans right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll drop one of his playlists in the comments. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If they don't, I will.
Yep.
No, it's done. It's in the description. Look down. It's happening. I'm going to make Ben do it.
There might be even a little link to one of those, I forgot what they're called.
I love info cards.
Yeah.
We love a good info
right
card.
up here,
Top
probably.
right.
Or over there. It's one of these sections.
I never know which way to point.
Top right.
And Henry, before we forget, you got to look at your camera.
I mean, I am looking.
He's the worst about looking into his camera.
Well, when we do
He
the
has no
episodes
footage of actually looking into a real camera.
when we do the episodes with me and you, there's 2 cameras right next to each other, and I'm like, oh,
yeah. So
which one is it?
if you want something to hit real hard, you look at the second one down there,
Yeah, that one.
the bottom one.
Yep.
And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
motherfuckers,
Listeners.
listen up.
Yeah. That's our thumbnail.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Cutting that up for the thumbnail.
So
yeah.
you already mentioned 4 names or 5 artist names that you've gone through in the past. Obviously, Forrest Isn't Dead is the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
It's the go forward
It's the
brand.
It's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
Yeah.
It's not going. It's not dying.
No.
So
it's not dead yet.
I'm always fascinated by how do you choose? Tell us about the brainstorming process, because going from Young Doe to then Forrest Isn't Dead.
There's a story behind that, clearly.
There's clearly some thought that was into that.
Not with Doe. Doe is
No, exactly. Let's focus on the one that's here to stay.
Okay. I was about to say, I was in a car on my way to West Virginia. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start going by Doe. That's
a terrible idea.
Yeah, I know. It was bad branding, honestly.
But now that it's Forrest Isn't Dead.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned that, JFK were your initials.
Yeah.
Forrest
Is my middle name.
is the middle name.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the branding behind Isn't Dead. What does that mean to you?
So I was living with my manager at the time, and I was driving home, and for some reason we were trying to think of brand names because we were talking about rebranding because there's a new sound switch. And my first was Forrest Is Alive, and I was like, I don't like how that sounds. It doesn't roll off the tongue nice. And then I was like, Forrest Isn't Dead. And then I was just like, yeah. And also I have gone through a good bit of stuff, and I've grown a lot as a person.
Talk to us about some of the stuff that you've been through.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, so it's like a sign of me being here instead of dead like I should be, or could be. I shouldn't say should be. But yeah, I've been sober for a while now. I used to have a lot of problems with like pills and cocaine and acid and anything. I did everything except for heroin. I would never touch heroin. But I've been sober for a long time now. I even recently quit smoking weed and like kind of...
Wow.
Yeah, I don't drink either. Like I drink maybe once every 6 months, like for celebration, but that's it. So
nice.
Yeah, super clear-minded, feels good. You know what I'm saying? I got a wonderful fiance who helps me out a lot.
Shout out Forrest's fiance.
Shout out to Rose, right?
Rosalie, yeah.
Rosalie.
My girl. Yeah, she helps me a lot. She's actually, even just in the 3 years we've been together, like helped me process a lot of like childhood traumas and shit. But
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mental
stuff.
health is clearly something that wasn't talked about very publicly in the past. It's starting to get more socially acceptable to discuss it and to be open about it. For those listening that may or may not be struggling with, depression or mental health issues, what would you say to them?
I would just say that it's, as far as suicide, is not worth it. And everybody kind of has a purpose and something they could do to make the world better. So you just need to find that for yourself and focus and hone in on that. And yeah, don't worry so much about what other people think.
Yeah.
And also, I had a brain fart, but just focus on yourself and just do what you got to make yourself happy and put that first. Put your happiness before anything else or anybody else's.
Major.
For sure.
Major.
Yeah.
Maybe just
one more time.
Focus on yourself and make yourself happy before anything else in the day.
Yeah, sometimes you do just have to be selfish when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I think happy people are more capable of helping other people be happy.
Exactly.
Right?
The happier you are, the easier
rubs off.
time you will have.
So it's not even selfish at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did music play a role in...
Big time.
Yeah.
Even like that album I mentioned, the My Chemical Romance album, that album, like the lyrics in that album kind of like made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only person who has these feelings. Like when I was young and like extra depressed, like, and like a big message of theirs was like, there is hope and you can persevere like past that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I've taken on a lot of that message within myself because it, that helped me a lot tremendously as a kid to hear someone else say that.
Yeah.
Because you feel alone at first. You're like, I'm the only one that feels like this. Why do I feel
Especially when you're like an angsty little 13-year-old
like middle
boy.
school shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, it's I mentioned on my Meet the Hosts episode, that was the episode that dropped right before yours. I was in a pretty dark place before I just started taking music seriously. My aunt actually committed suicide.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. And it was something that I didn't know about. I had never experienced suicide from a friend. I didn't even know a friend of a friend that had, dealt with it. So it was this brand new thing to me. And just, being through being alongside her through the depression and whatnot, it was something that completely like opened my mind to like how bad it can get for someone.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, then I have my own bout with like feeling very, dark and just alone and in a, interesting space mentally, obviously. And music, just meeting Henry and like joining him and his team, obviously, to really like make this thing happen and like starting to do the podcast and stuff. It's just been like focusing on yourself, like you said. It feels a certain way sometimes, but to your point, like me focusing on something that I love, which is this podcast, for example, like gets to have people like you like come on and stuff. So like it turns into selfless, even though maybe originally it's selfish.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah. And more to the point of what you were saying, as far as like now you have the podcast, is that's what I meant earlier when I was saying like, if you're feeling that way, like find something that you can put your time into and it's going to help you over time. Yeah. And I know sometimes it can be hard, like when you're down and depressed, of like even having the energy or wanting to, but like you just got to power through it sometimes. I know it's hard, but
one foot in front of the other, man.
It's a fight you got to put up though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a testament to it. You obviously are as well. Like, it's possible.
Oh yeah,
and it feels so fucking good once you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not perfect by any means. I still have bad days. I'm sure you
we
do
all
as
do.
well.
Yeah,
I had one yesterday.
But yep,
right.
But it's still, if you can, you know, find that thing that maybe makes it not all feel so hard.
I still think it's like, it goes back to the Gary V. Shout out Gary V. We'd love to have you on the podcast, by the way.
We really would.
It's like, make a list of the things that you're really good at. Make a list of the things that you really love to do, and like see what's on both lists.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
and just
dude.
like laser focus into those things.
One more time.
You're gonna one more? You just one more time to me? He knew which button it was.
Oh yeah, I pay attention.
This guy's sharp.
Figure out what you're good at. Figure out what you love to do. And if there's anything, even one thing that's on both lists, do the shit out of it.
Oh yes, sir.
Period.
Big gems.
That's great. That's great.
Can't believe he did.
So, as part of Forrest Isn't Dead, how would you describe your sound? Like, if you were to go up to some guy on the street that's never heard of you, what would you say that your, you know, sound is? How would you describe it?
I would say introspective, alternative pop music. That's probably the best way that I would.
That's good.
Okay.
A lot of my lyrics, actually all of my lyrics are more based on the stuff that we were just talking about as far as like emotions and perseverance and, you know, being you through your darkest days.
Yep.
And then the music, I just, like I said, The Cure is one of my favorite bands. They're really like poppy. And I like them because they're like whimsical and dark at the same time. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for.
Yeah.
Is whimsical and dark.
Whimsical and dark.
Yeah.
What would you say is the song that you're most proud of?
Of mine?
Throughout the Forrest Isn't Dead era, I would say.
That's out right now, probably Here We Are. But the songs that you guys will probably hear in the future and maybe come back to this, either Paper Kingdom or Funeral. Funeral and Paper Kingdom. Those two.
Perfect.
They're not out yet.
Let's play a snippet from, what was the one that was out?
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Let's play this.
Here we are.
You've done nothing. Yeah. Here we are. Fighting our demons. Here we are. Just trying to be human.
Yeah, and here we are fighting our demons. Here we are just trying to be human, you know?
I got chills. Look, I don't know if the camera can pick this up.
Woo!
Thank you. I appreciate
It's
that.
a good
fake
thing when
that.
Henry gets chills.
You can't fake this.
Nope. So what inspired that song?
I can tell you the story behind it.
Yeah,
I'll
please.
play it for you. I have the very first recording of when we wrote the song. What we did is we were at band practice. So Matt produced the original Bones for that song.
Shout out Matt, man.
Yeah.
Legend.
And he emailed it to me, and I was in the car kind of like vibing with it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just pull it up at practice. We're just going to like play over it and then see what happens. And I have that recording of the first time we played over it. All of the words I freestyled, they were first things that I said. Yeah, first thing I said, every single one of the words. Yeah, hook and all. And Matt's guitar parts were the very first thing he played. Like that song just happened.
That's always the best music.
We
when
had
you
a
just-
day like that. Do you remember the day?
Yeah, when
It was
the
a day of
first thing.
firsts.
Yep.
It was the first sample he found. It was the first
Freestyle
kick that
flow.
he, made. The first 808. Like it was
Oh,
the
wow.
first of everything. And the artist were also vibing off of
First
first.
beat
Like,
I played
yeah.
for an artist.
Yeah, but it was just one of those days
Yeah.
where it was like, he was like, should we just go with the first one we just heard? We
Yeah.
were like, fuck yeah, we should. Like, because everything else was the first. Why would we not go off of the first like take of the first
Yeah.
this? So it was kind of more of a game at the end of it, but it turned out incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a shout out my boy First. Good job, First. Good
Shout
job,
out
First.
First from FKI. Excuse me.
Yeah. Something that he kind of put me onto when I've worked with him the couple times I have that I kind of taken into my own swag is when he's in the studio, he'll start a project, and if in the first 10 minutes, if it doesn't feel right to him, he's like, fuck this, go on to the next
Yeah.
thing. Like he doesn't spend a lot of time on the records. And so, I kind of do that now when I'm in the studio with Wes and Matt, we're working on
Shout out
production.
Wes.
Yeah,
Shout
Wes
out
Green,
Wes Green, man.
Wes Green,
Matt Vassy.
And Matt
My
Vassy.
boys, they
And
both
Zuko.
play. Yeah, and Zuko.
Gotta shout out Zuko.
shout out to the team.
Matt and Vassy, they produce all the music with me, and they also play in the band. Matt's on guitar, Wes is on synths. But yeah, if the song's not hitting in the first 15, 20 minutes, then we're just like, all right,
Try
next
again.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll know if you need to move on with it.
Yeah, that was the very first time that we just ran through it and we were like, yep, that's a hit. Let's keep it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
we're gonna go deeper into this. Let's make this song for real.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you described some of the music.
yeah.
How would you describe yourself as a person? I always love this.
As weird as this is gonna sound, I don't think about myself too much. I kind of put myself at the back burner, focus on what's in front of me. But I've heard myself described as very headstrong. So like if I know I'm gonna do something, I'm doing it. Or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't half-ass stuff. I do it 100% or not at all.
Whole ass.
Yeah, I'm a whole ass.
He's
And
a whole
then-
asser.
Yeah, I'm a whole asser. And then if I don't want to do it, I just won't. If someone's like, hey, let's do this, and I don't want to, I'm not doing it. Yeah. I don't do stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, some people just go with the flow. I'm not that guy, though.
Yeah. You create the flow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Someone described you as very compassionate.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'd say so.
You know, you really do care about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote from Zuko, and I loved this quote. Shout out Zuko for this. To be interesting, you have to be interested in others.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's like a
One more time.
that's like a fucking Nelson Mandela or some
Oh, yeah.
shit. I
Dude,
was like,
Zuko has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very smart
I love
guy.
Zuko.
So yeah, to be interesting, you got to be interested in others.
Yeah.
And so I think that you're clearly a very interesting character, and I think that
Thank you.
it might be from the fact that you really are genuinely, you know, I mean, even just like I said, your interest in what we're doing and, you know,
Yeah.
with the podcast and whatnot, like that was felt to a point that I was like, fuck yeah, we got to
Let's get
have
this
this
guy
guy
on.
on. And then it was like, obviously, you know, you've known Henry for a while anyway.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
My
like,
boy.
you know, the stars aligned. That's great.
I appreciate that. I definitely like I don't care who you are, what you do, what level or whatever you're at. I am more than willing to hear what you got to say because you can learn something from anybody. You can learn shit from a 6-year-old.
One more time.
You can learn shit from
One more
anybody in this world. There's nobody who can't teach you something. You can learn something from everybody. So I always take the time to listen to what people have to say, you know, and hear them out. Definitely gain more knowledge that way, for sure.
And you never know who that person's going to become.
Or that.
We've had several people, Chad, Tennies, who actually may or may not have just been involved in a.
He was, yeah. He worked on this new video that'll be out late September, early October.
And we didn't even know that, guys. So
By
that
the
was
way,
crazy to have Forrest literally show us unreleased footage from the Resolve Media Group
Yeah.
with Chad, Tennies, and crew.
Mac.
And Mac Grant. Mm-hmm. Shout out Mac. And so,
Episodes 11 and 14.
yeah,
You
exactly.
got Mac on here too?
No.
Y'all need,
He's
hey,
talking about
Mac.
yours.
Mac,
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the podcast.
get
Yeah.
on here.
But no, so Chad mentioned it. Another guest of ours, Woe, mentioned it. How whether it's the fucking intern in the room, the secretary, the lowest level person in the room, to your point, you can learn something from them. Maybe
Definitely.
they have something to bring to the table.
Everybody.
They're valuable just because of where they might be currently. That has
Doesn't mean
exactly. That has no bearing on where they might, you know, be someday,
Yeah.
or just what they know and what you might learn from them. So that's
Yeah.
like, I love seeing the consistent themes amongst our guests because you're not a producer manager. Woe was literally a producer manager. You're not a filmmaker and director
Yeah.
and producer
Yeah.
of videos like Chad is. So hearing someone that's, you know, frontman of a band and an artist and also, you know, a music producer have that same mentality, that I love finding those consistent
Yeah.
elements between our guests. It's really cool.
One of my philosophies with
Twilight
life
Zone shit.
is like everybody is on equal ground. I don't care what job you have. I don't care if you're the fucking president. I don't care if you're the janitor. Everybody is on equal ground in my eyes. Like nobody is above anybody. And my mom could attest to this. I don't care about what's the word? Like formality. Like formality does not matter to me. Like yeah, that shit's out the window. Like
It's kind of fake sometimes.
and I just don't buy into that shit.
Of just what, like how things should be.
Yeah, or just
traditional
like you have to
sense?
behave like this around this person.
Yeah.
Or like you have to treat
Okay.
this person with a certain amount of respect. Like I will respect you if you respect me. And outside of that, I don't care who you are or what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
That's interesting.
yeah. Yeah, everybody deserves love. Everybody should be treated equally.
What's been your most memorable moment so far in music? Was it a studio session, a live performance, a collaboration you might have done? Like what
Something you'll
stands
never
out?
forget.
Exactly. What stands out in your career so far?
I got a couple. One of them is meeting Coach K at a disco. That was really cool.
What?
Shout out Coach K.
Shout out. But
I wouldn't say we're homies, but we're acquainted now. And we talk sometimes on Instagram. But
Nice.
that
Coach K from Quality
QC,
Control.
yeah,
Yeah,
quality
QC,
control.
man. He's the guy.
Not all you Duke fans thinking it's Coach fucking Mike Krzyzewski. We don't want to hear your Duke bullshit.
I know nothing about sports, so
Yeah, perfect. But just for those of them that don't know who Coach K is from QC, label home of the Migos, Lil Baby,
Cardi B.
yeah.
He used to manage Gucci and Jeezy back in the day. He was kind of sadly in the middle of that beef at one point.
Yeah, I bet that was
yeah.
tough for him.
Oh man, that's some legend. He is an Atlanta legend.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a hip hop
Yeah.
and music legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have QC Sports too. They have QC
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
entertainment. I mean,
He's amazing, dude.
yeah.
Being on stage with 21 Savage, that might be.
When was that?
This was like 2015.
And
yeah.
how did that happen?
Trinidad James's birthday.
Shout out Dad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dad.
You know him, yeah.
I know Dad.
His buddy, or not his buddy, Trinidad's cousin, Nick's cousin, Trinidad. I don't know him well enough to call him Nick. Trinidad's cousin, Juke.
But you did know him well enough to know his name was Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I knew him as Nick.
Oh, okay. I was like,
You still call him
I
Trinidad.
guess I'm not cool. I guess I'm not
Right,
cool
right.
enough to know him as Nick.
It'd be like calling me Justin. I wouldn't
Yeah.
like that too
I just
much.
know him as Mr. James.
Yeah, Mr. James.
With the salute.
I knew his cousin Juke, who's one of my good
Juke.
friends.
I've worked with Juke.
Yeah, Juke's
Shout out
my
Juke.
homie. Yeah, he just got me a housewarming gift. He bought me a Supreme skateboard for a housewarming gift. So sick.
that's dope.
Yeah.
Nice, Juke. Good job.
But yeah, so he was like, yo, it's Trinidad's birthday. You trying to come? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was on stage and it was like me, 21 Savage, Man Savage, Trinidad.
Both the Savages.
I think Fat Man Key might have been there.
Key,
Yeah.
man.
Key,
We would
we'd
love,
love to have you on the podcast, my friend.
I've done a song with Key.
Put in a good word for us, my friend.
Yeah, but it's got my boy ATL Smook on it, Swag Hollywood, Key, and then me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it ever coming out?
Maybe.
Speaking
We'll
of
have to see.
projects that may or may not ever see the light of day,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you have
Tell-
something to say on that note.
tell us about a project that we'd all be dying to have released.
Back in the day, it was 2016. My buddy KK was like, yo, there's this kid you need to meet. I think you could really help him with music. He's just like kind of getting started. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, and then he pulls up. I got to tell the story before I tell y'all who it is because it's
I
so
love
funny.
it. The anticipation.
Yeah. So he pulls up and picks me up, and there's a buddy who we're about to talk about in the car, and then his manager. I get in the back seat, and this is so funny to me, and I loved it. But his manager was like, yo, he's going to be famous one day. And I was just like, all right.
Talk about you or the guy?
The guy.
Okay.
He was just like, yo, just so you know, he's going to be famous one day. And I was like, all right, cool. Okay. And then we
You're like, I love the confidence, manager.
for sure. No, and I did. That's what I was saying. It's super cool. It was just kind of funny to be like, I never met you, but yo, my homie's going to be famous.
Now he definitely is.
Now he definitely is. So we go to the studio. I start pulling up some beats, and he starts singing. And the second I heard him sing, I was like, yep, he's going to be famous. I was like, this stuff is too good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And he was freestyling everything. And then we did like 3 or 4 songs together that never got released. And this artist is
Drum roll, please.
Trippie Redd. Trippie Redd.
If you don't fucking give us those sessions,
Yeah.
Trippie, we'd love to have you in the podcast, and you need to drop this project with Forrest.
Let's not drop that project, but let's come back.
Make a new project.
Make a new project. Because
let's come full circle.
the hook, I could
Your
tell-
manager was right. You're fucking famous.
Yeah, he killed it.
We get it.
Yeah.
Is it still his manager today?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm so out of touch with him. I
That's
have no
okay.
idea. But the hook was.
But we saw the DMs. You were DMing Forrest.
Oh, yeah.
In 2016.
Told me to pull up and everything.
Yep.
The hook was it's like a movie every time I hit the scene. Okay. But yeah, that was
That's a
the
dope
hook.
melody.
Yeah. And then I was doing the lower layer, Trippie was doing the higher layer, and we were singing it
I
together.
can only imagine that blend.
Yeah, it was sick. And eventually we'll work together again. I already know it.
I know.
But
That's awesome.
But yeah, Trippie Redd, we worked on some songs that never saw the light of day.
Damn.
Yeah.
What
They
an
weren't that good.
What an inspiring though, like you said, let's manifest that new moment, right?
Let me
Go
say
ahead.
this.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
not that he wasn't good, but he was shitting on me on those songs. I've definitely gotten better since then, but at the time I was just like, oh man, this kid, like I am lucky to be on this song with him. And that was before he was famous too. I was just like, this kid is so talented, but
Nice.
I've caught up, dog.
You could keep up with him today.
Yeah, I could keep up with you now.
There you go.
Let's go.
So if you could manifest a new moment that if I were to ask you this question would for sure be on your list of defining moments in your career, what would it be? Would it be headlining a certain festival? Would it be collaborating with this certain artist? Like what would that pinnacle moment for you
Going
be?
platinum.
Yeah, just anything. What
I
would it
only
be?
have two.
Okay.
It's being on a song with Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance,
Okay.
and being on a song with Robert Smith from The Cure.
Wow.
Anything else is like kind of just like whatever to me. Like even in going platinum or selling out of shows, like it's cool. But like those two are like where I would genuinely be like,
It's about the people.
I made it.
It's compassionate.
What do you like so much about them?
everything.
You know what I mean? Like what is it?
It's what they stand for and what they talk about, their presentation, how much they're like in touch with themselves and like just happy to be themselves, you know what I'm saying? And their level of expression, I'm really into it. Even for myself, like in middle school, I was like pretty much in touch with myself. And then in high school, my mom made me go to a different high school than the one in our district because she didn't want me going to school with my friends. Because
your mom sounded so cool until
no,
this
she
moment.
was cool. No, she was doing the right thing. She was doing the right thing.
Okay.
Because I was getting in a shit ton of trouble with my friends in middle school. I went to school with like a bunch of rich kids.
Yeah, that was like a new one back in the day, right?
Yeah.
The new preppy one.
My freshman year was the second year. Yeah, it was a super preppy school. I didn't fit in at all. And it really messed with my confidence. And it made me feel like I couldn't be myself because I'm around a bunch of people who were extremely judgmental of me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was just really insecure for a while. And then eventually, like I said, once I met Rosalie and stuff, she's kind of helped me come back to being myself and being confident and happy with expressing myself the way I want to.
So speaking of kind of, you know, how you feel about yourself, we already talked about, you know, maybe some adjectives, right, that you'd use to describe your music and describe yourself. But what do you like most about your artistry? What are your strengths, would you say?
Definitely songwriting. Like we had said earlier, I've been writing for so long. Like,
Is that lyrics or is that like arrangement?
all
everything?
of it. I would say I'm not a great singer.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm really.
I thought you were pretty good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was like, could have fooled me, maybe.
But yeah, I would definitely say I'm a better songwriter than a singer, which is okay. That's more what I base my music on. And really, like, I would say my main thing is just, like I said, just like letting people know that you're not the only one going through some of this shit and that there is a light at the end of that tunnel.
He's a communicator.
Yeah, and that I could be an example for these people of like, you can get off these drugs and you can get out of these bad situations and put yourself in a better spot.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So talk to us about the label situation. Which label did you sign with?
Madison Records.
Shout out Madison.
Shout out Madison.
The CEO, Tanner Hendon.
Shout out Tanner.
His fiance or
Can
wife.
you tell we like to shout out a lot of
Katie
people?
Doherty. No, because his fiance actually went to kindergarten with.
Yeah.
So shout out Katie too.
Not my fiance, Tanner. She found out about me through Henry. She came to a show of mine with Henry and then told Tanner, and that's how Tanner found out about me.
Because Frank
Henry.
Mason
And you guys all found out about me.
So you guys signed your label because of me?
Because of you, technically, yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Best
That's
podcast
crazy.
episode ever.
I don't know. I think that's fact. So I'm sorry, Tanner, if that's not exactly how it
No,
happened.
for this
but-
podcast, it's
That's
the
how it
fucking
happened.
truth.
but I'm pretty sure that
Henry
that's what
is the
happened.
reason why you signed with Madison Records.
I just know that Tanner told me
Shout
that
out
the
Henry,
first time
shout
he
out
heard of me was through Katie, through going to a show.
It was at aisle 5.
It
right?
might
was
have-
it. Was it that show?
No, Tanner came to that show.
Smith's?
It was a show at Smith's,
Smith's.
upstairs at Smith's. Yeah.
Yes. Quick little side funny story about Smith's. It was also Frank Mason performing because you guys,
My boy.
you guys were more dope music with Zuko. Shout out Zuko.
We're
one
still more
time.
dope music.
Still more dope music, of course.
Over 9,000.
Yeah, it's over 9,000, baby.
9,000.
I remember Forrest put on an amazing show. I was
Thank
super
you.
pumped up, and it's after the show. Everyone's chilling. I just came up to him like, "Yo, that was a crazy show. You guys killed it. Is there any way I can help or anything?" And he was like, "Yo, you could buy these socks."
Support, dog. Support.
he had Forrest
Branded socks. They have
branded
branded on them, yeah.
socks, and I copped a pair of socks.
Bro, do you have
Fuck
any more of
yeah.
those?
No, I don't.
Fuck.
I'm gonna do a rerun.
I'll
of
hook
this.
you up with some shit though.
Yeah.
Whenever I
was
get
like,
some merch.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
man.
Not you, Henry. I'm just kidding. I'm just
My
kidding.
God. Come on. Don't leave me hanging.
It's messed up.
That's amazing.
I'm just kidding.
Good deal. So, what's coming up? Any singles or projects or shows that are coming up that you want to shout out that you're excited about?
You mentioned the video. Which song is that?
It's this song called Fire. It's really dope.
It's fire.
It's fire.
It is.
Yeah. It's coming out, and I can't show you all a video, but I'll just tell you, somebody caught themselves on fire in the video about fire.
Who
for
could
fire.
it be?
Yeah.
Could it be?
I don't want to give away too much. And then we have this, I don't know. No, that'll be over. We have a private show on Saturday, but this will be a week before y'all see this. Saturday.
Y'all missed the private.
Y'all
show.
missed the private show
Yeah.
by this
It
point.
was fucking dope.
It was
Yeah.
legendary. I'm
Hindsight.
assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Ben are gonna be there.
Don't miss
Awesome.
Don't miss the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know we're going to be booking some shows. I know like spring next year, we're going to have the album, the full album, and we'll also have a tour set up.
Got to have a tour with the album.
Yeah, for sure. So
Have you announced the name of the album, or is that still?
I know the name, but I don't know
That's
if I'm
still
supposed
okay.
to drop it yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold on to it for
Well,
a second.
We could
Next
use
time.
a podcast exclusive though.
I think Henry. We're at a final segment of the One More Time podcast. It's
Oh,
Henry's
shit.
favorite. It's everyone's
Oh,
favorite.
shit.
Where are we at right now,
Oh
Henry?
shit. I like to call this the rapid fire rampage.
Oh,
We're about to rampage.
Buckle up, Forrest,
So the rapid fire rampage, it's a 3-part rampage.
because we love threes around here.
3 is a good number.
Oh, yeah.
That we tend to gravitate towards.
it's my third favorite.
Is it following 1 and 2? Or? Okay.
I was just making a joke.
Okay. So it's going to be a short answer. I'm going to hit you with some quick short answer questions. Just fire
Okay.
back a quick answer to me.
I'll
It's
do
gonna-
my best.
It's going to be a this or that as part 2. I'm going to give you 2 choices. You
Okay.
pick one, top of your head. And then it's going to be a word association. I'm going to give you 1 word. You give me 1 word back.
Okay.
And I'll repeat that as we go. That's a lot to
Feels like
take
therapy.
in. It's going to be, we might learn something.
We might charge you. So
Yeah. That'll be $50.
yeah.
Here we go. Rapid fire rampage. Forrest Isn't Dead. Initiating rampage. Give us, Forrest, 1 band in your top 5 of all time.
My Chemical Romance.
Give us your favorite hobby to get away from music.
Skateboarding.
Perfect. Lead into the next question. Give us the best skate trick you have ever landed.
Probably 3 flipping a 5 stair.
Sounds crazy.
It is.
I'd have to see a video.
Can you describe that in a little more detail?
So it's like a 360 shove it and a kick flip together over 5 stairs. So it's like that.
And
So it's a full turnaround, but it's also a flip.
A kick flip and a 360 shove it.
Okay.
Wow.
That was the phone is actually
that's a
good
great
like,
skateboard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Proxy.
I've been showing people how to skateboard on a phone for years.
See, I
Genius.
used to use the little tech decks.
I have one.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy Melvin. You talked to
Oh
Melvin.
yeah, Melvin, Mello.
He gave me a tech deck not too long ago.
Hell yes, Melvin's a great
Sitting
guy.
in my studio.
Joe Biden exiles you from America. Where do you go live?
Scotland.
Why?
That's where my fiance wants to be, and I want to be where she is.
Shout out Rosalie, man. She's totally wearing the pants in this relationship.
Definitely.
It's okay, my wife does too.
She should.
Yeah.
If you want to be happy.
Yes.
If all your band members quit tomorrow, which band would you join?
I would just keep doing my shit by myself. But if I had to join a band, The Cure, if they'd let me.
Give us one underground rapper that we should all check out.
3AG Pilot.
Boom.
My brother.
Give us one of the dumbest things you've ever done.
I gotta play that one safe.
That's why I preface it with one of.
Yeah, one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Probably stole from one of my friends.
Yeah,
Pretty stupid.
it's a good one.
Last time I stole too.
Good.
I was like, never again. It's like 5 years ago. Just so everybody knows.
Let's flip it into one of the best decisions you ever made.
Best decision I ever made would be working with Zuko and Wes.
If you could add any one instrument or person to the band, who would it be?
It would be a second keyboard player, and I don't have a specific person, but once again, if I had to choose, it would be Robert Smith, because he plays keyboard too.
Love it. Love it. Give us your dream venue to play.
Dream venue to play. Hi-Fi Buys, sold out.
First part of the Rampage. Major success. Love it.
Sounds good.
Moving on to the this or that.
Okay.
You get two choices. You pick one.
Okay.
Here we go. In the studio or at a show?
At a show.
And you pretend like this is some years ago, but beer or liquor?
I mean, I still drink on occasion, but not that much. But I'm definitely going liquor. I do not drink beer at all.
My man. Skate shoes or barefoot?
Oh, skate shoes. I don't do barefoot.
Not like in not a foot guy.
No, not a foot guy.
It's a weird way to put it, but
Yeah.
It was a weird question.
it was. You're a weird guy.
Small local venue or big festival?
For me to perform,
Take it as you will.
attend a small venue, perform a big festival.
Good answer. Good answer.
I do not go to festivals.
Hear you.
I'm not a public person.
Lake house or mountain cabin?
Mountain cabin all day.
Confidence.
Oh yeah.
Tattoos or jewelry?
Neither, but
That's
I guess if I
unacceptable.
had to pick tattoos,
Okay.
I don't.
Do you
wear
have one?
I have no tattoos and I don't wear jewelry. So
Yeah, I'm
There you
literally
go.
the same way.
I forgot to update that question from our rappers.
The only thing I have to wear is this fucking wedding ring. But
this goddamn wedding.
Shout out to Lana.
I'd much rather wear like a wedding shirt or something, like a wedding hat.
A wedding hat. I can't take it off. My head's bald all through here, but
Wedding
stay.
shoes, wedding
yeah.
shoes.
Wedding fit.
We're getting
the wedding
off here
fit.
with
Sorry.
with the wedding hat. Okay.
Oh man, that's good.
Chicken or beef?
Me and my fiance try to eat vegan, but if I had to pick again, chicken.
Bro, your this or that's are terrible.
I
Beer or liquor,
thought I did
doesn't
my-
drink.
I said I
Chicken or
prefaced
beef,
it.
he's a vegan.
I'm not full vegan. I don't want
I
to
know.
claim that
Okay.
because I still eat chicken here and
I just
there.
like to make fun of his questions.
Oh yeah.
Boxers or briefs, assuming you do wear underwear.
He's like he's like I'm commando.
Briefs.
Brief man.
Briefs.
TV shows or movies?
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
We ask the heavy hitters on the One More Time
Yeah.
podcast.
I guess I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm gonna, I guess, go movies. I watch more TV shows, but I have more love for movies.
What's your favorite movie recently? Sorry to interrupt the Rampage.
my
on the
favorite
Rampage?
movie of all time? This is gonna be so hipster, but probably Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Sure.
My favorite movie recently would probably be It Chapter 2.
Really?
Yeah, that
I haven't
movie
seen the new one.
smacks.
Is it scary?
Oh, sorry, Hereditary. Hereditary. That's one of the best horror movies in the last like 10 years. Hands
My
down.
wife wants to watch like scary movies all the time, and
There you go.
I'm so scared
Dude,
of scary movies.
Hereditary
man.
will freak you the fuck out.
I don't want to watch it then.
It's so good though.
It sounds terrible.
Can we move on to the third part of the Rampage?
Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
Henry. You're doing great for us, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Yeah.
It's a good Rampage so far.
Yeah.
But Rampage Part 3, word association, the final part of the Rampage. I'm going to
Okay.
give you one word. You give me the first thing off the top of your head, right back.
Okay.
No thought whatsoever. Here we go. Your first word is stage.
Left. Oh God.
Beach.
Ball.
Why am I laughing?
Doing well. I don't know. This is like really good. Pro Tools.
Logic.
Ooh, Logic Squad.
Fire. Canada.
U.S. I don't know.
He's so good. Merch.
Store.
Video games.
Call of Duty.
Anxiety.
Me.
Denim.
Jacket.
Piercings.
No.
Atlanta.
The best.
Sushi.
Food. I don't know. I tried.
It is food.
It is. It is indeed.
Politics.
No.
Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon.
This has
What a
been
rampage.
a rampage. This has been a great episode with our guy, Forrest from Forrest Isn't Dead. This has been a blast. We appreciate you coming on, man.
I had
it was
fun.
I enjoyed it, man.
Yep,
too.
all the adjectives. No, it was awesome getting to hear, some of the darker sides of your story and honestly some of the brighter sides of your story. We got to hear some of the details around how you got your start, where you've come from, where you're at, and where you're going. We appreciate you tuning in, folks. This has been an episode of the One More Time podcast. We're here every week. We're here every week on Thursdays, whether you like it or not. You can't get rid of us.
Can't do it.
I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, please like, subscribe, follow, drop a comment, tell a friend, tell your friend's friend. You know the drill. Until next week, Henry,
We out ya.
we out.
See ya.
Peace.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the law.